I would like to give a big thanks as well to our diamond sponsor, AlphaPex. They are a powerful Dogecoin and Litecoin crypto miner. So if you want to check out more of their stuff and what they do, they've got a booth at D3. Make sure you go to check that out. That's AlphaPex's booth right there at D3. And before we bring on this next panel, do just want to give a quick shout out. At 12:30 today on this stage, on the Uminers Stage, is the startup pitch. So if you're an investor looking for the next breakthrough project, definitely worth coming to check out. Some of the best finalists that we've got here are going to be coming and pitching their stuff to a jury and also trying to impress you as well. So that's 12:30 here. And previously, you know, people that have done this before have gone on to do amazing things. So definitely worth coming and checking that out. Guys, we're going to kick this along. We've got an amazing next panel as well. I think it's super relatable, especially this time of the month, October. Everyone's wondering, Uptober, what's going on with the crypto market right now? Will this year bring the crypto boom that everyone is hoping for, or more of the sluggish vibes that we've been feeling lately as well? So we've got some visionaries from top funds all over the world that are going to be coming on this stage right now to answer those questions. So I'm going to call out their names, and then we're going to give a massive round of applause as they come to the stage as well. We've got the head of HTX Ventures, Alec Go. Director of Gaming at Ton Foundation, Inal, Kardan. We've got the head of Special Projects at Morningstar Ventures, Borislav Horinchev. VP of Ecosystems at DWF Labs, Alessia Baumgartner. Founder and CEO of Digital Finance Group, James Wu. And last but not least, Chief Operating Officer at Jets.Capital, Danil Gaidamakin. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the panelists to the stage right now.
Hello, Dubai. It's so great to see you at Blockchain Live Conference 2025. So today we will discuss about the market, what is happening, how to benefit from it. So we have an amazing lineup of speakers from the major ecosystems, platforms we see. Let's start from one of the most discussed episodes this month. So on October 10, we saw a significant flash crash, and lots of assets lost at least of half of the price or even more. So Alessia, from your market maker and VC perspective, how do you think what's really happening behind such huge cases?
Hi. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure. Yeah, that event was quite interesting. I think it was a coincidence of a lot of unfortunate events at the same time that triggered such a big cascade of prices and liquidations. YQ, the founder of Outlayer, did an amazing 5-piece thread about it. I highly recommend everyone to check it out. It's quite a lengthy piece, but he explained properly everything. But I mean, in a short-term form, you know, the biggest exchange in the world was going through some maintenance for 3 assets. And then, of course, it had the period of a lot of leverage in the market as well. And then Trump announced the 100% tariff, which, you know, destroyed everything. And then people, of course, went bearish and, you know, started selling. And then, of course, there comes the market making side of things. For everyone here, market makers are providing liquidity. They're placing buy and sell orders at all times and reducing spreads in the markets. But of course, when these type of events happen, market makers are in the books, but every legit market maker has, you know, risk management in place. And whenever these big cascades happen, of course, there is no way that one or a couple single market makers can absorb this huge selling pressure of 90 billion, for example. So of course, there was a gap of liquidity, and not only that, I mean, market makers also had issues, in order to withdraw and deposit funds because, platforms were going through these issues. So strategies could also not be fulfilled properly as it is in usual markets. And at the end of the day, market makers also index markets. And when the biggest exchange, which has, the most volume and the most liquidity, is going through this big event, going through a lot of issues, it's almost impossible for market makers to also hedge their position and know how to act for the future. So yeah, it was, again, an unfortunate event. But of course, like we always do in crypto, we always come back stronger. And of course, there was a lot of lessons that came out of it. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. James, in your opinion, what does this incident could tell us about the current market conditions? Is it so easy to manipulate?
However, James was founder of DFG here. So in my perspective, I think this incident is actually pretty standard and normal in the big bull market. So it doesn't happen like only in this bull market. It actually happened a lot of times back to 2017 and 2021. So I still remember, I think that's May 21st, maybe in 2021, I see like Bitcoin price goes down 50% at one day. So it's actually much crazy in the previous market than this market. So for as an investment firm, and one thing I think for the investor can do is actually buy more Bitcoin or buy more coins when this type of incident happen. Because just imagine it's not going to be a fundamental change or fundamental shift for the bull market to a bear market. It's just one single tweet from Donald Trump and one single incident triggered that event. So the fundamental didn't change at all, but you have a chance to buy much cheaper Bitcoin, so why not do it, right? So if you do that at that day, right now you're up probably 20%, so it's not a bad investment at all. So that's my experience. So if there's anything happen later in the bull market, don't worry, that's standard. Things happen in the bull market, then take your chance and buy more coins you like, and you will enjoy the return afterwards.
Buy coins with what funds?
Yeah, but I mean, I think like people always need to holding a proportion of cash in their balance sheet. For example, for us, we always holding a decent proportion of cash in the bear market and bull market. The reason for that is if there's any strategic investment chance or strategic investment opportunity, whether in the primary market or the secondary market, we will do that right away. So that gave us a lot of edge. So I also recommend also the retail investor to do the same. Probably save probably 20% or probably 25% of your asset into cash, whether there's a bull market or bear market, just in case anything you want to use it urgently.
Yeah, I believe this flash crash is just a big reminder for all of us. You should always keep your buy orders ready so you can participate in this sale. Okay, the next big story comes from politics. So the Trump right now and administrations push lots of crypto initiatives such as stablecoin regulation, launching his own meme coin, and crypto assets reserve for sure. So, Alec, should we be prepared for the next United States-driven bullish phase?
Yeah, hi everyone. Alec from HTX Ventures. That's a good question, right? I mean, the entire year's narrative is pretty much driven based on the change of the administration to Trump and opening up of the space, deregulation, as well as putting in very clear frameworks. For example, in July, we just passed the Genius Act, right, in order for banks and financial institutions to finally embrace stablecoins and being able to use it, for payments between institutions as well. So I think in terms of, probably for the next year or so, is going to be driven primarily by the changes that happened and will happen in the next, 1 or 2 years from the US side. And typically, US being the largest capital markets of the world, whatever changes that US make will have a trickle-down effect to the rest of the jurisdictions as well. So, for example, in Asia, we've been seeing, a more open and then, embrace of the Web3 space as well as the stablecoin payments structure by both financial institutions as well as very traditional banks as well. So I think this is going to continue, right? And it's probably going to be the catalyst for the next wave as well. Well, in a way, it's going to be quite boring because we are talking about store of wealth, payments, but I think that's what probably is going to be the narrative going forward, at least for the next year or so.
Okay, Borislav, how do you think, what could be the consequences in positive way or in negative way from such initiatives from the states, for the retail investors, from the market in general, from market makers, etc.?
Firstly, thank you very much for having us, guys, and congrats on the Blockchain Live organizers. It's our 4th consecutive year, and it's growing better and stronger, so thanks for having us. I'm Borislav for Morningstar Ventures, the head of special projects. So I follow these news closely as they inform, firstly, what's happening in the US, and then it's the biggest market in the world, so that kind of trickles down in Europe and in our region here. In my personal opinion, I completely back what Alec said. So the Genius Act was just the beginning. That's on one hand allowing issuers of stable coins to actively participate in the market. On the other hand, it's also providing the right backing of one-to-one treasuries and cash, so retail can be calmer. From that, you can kind of see that fintechs are starting to, dabble into the field, and these are established businesses like Robinhood, like Stripe, buying Bridge. These are actual users who are having their first interaction and seeing the benefits of international payments through stable coins and so on. I think there is also more structural changes that are taking place. They're not yet in effect, but the Clarity Act, for example, which kind of defines clearly what is a security, what is not. It's kind of driving also the local builders in the US to kind of return to the market and finally push the products that they want to push. And again, that opens up the opportunity for, Europe to follow suit and to kind of implement the same or better laws that allow builders on local levels to participate. And then lastly, I think it's also not to underestimate what's happening with the ETF side of things, because TradFi is here. We've been crying for TradFi to come for years now, so here they are. And with, I forget what the actual name of the bill is, but the abbreviation is FIT21, so that allows more standardized issuance of ETFs or ETPs, however you want to call them. So now it's almost imminent that, Solana ETFs are going to come to the market, staking ETFs are coming to the market. So these are huge amounts of liquidity that are going to be absorbed. And, of course, they're not going to trickle down to memes, but it's a matter of time until the risk profile basically increases, and that opens up the doors to a lot of opportunities. So overall, I think it's quite positive for the market. And considering that we were doing choke point 2.0 a couple of years ago, it's a 180 shift from the US.
So as they say, you cannot escape the dollar gravity, not even on chain. So it's mostly the great news for us. So let's watch what will be the next, what initiatives we should see in next years, etc. Okay, the next question about AI and blockchain. So for years we heard that synergy between AI and blockchain could bring us to completely new future, to completely new user experience. But truly nothing game-changing happened. So Inal, how do you think, do we need to wait something completely new, and maybe anything new from the Tone ecosystem, anything from the GameFi or mini apps for AI?
Yeah, Inal from Ton Foundation here. Thanks for the question. But I actually want to start with a question to the audience. Please raise your hand if you use any blockchain plus AI product in your daily life. I'm not talking about ChatGPT. I'm not talking about major AI stuff, but AI product with a blockchain integrated into it. Please raise your hand. I literally see two
That's
people.
what I'm talking about.
Three. Sorry?
That's what I'm talking about. And nothing major is still happening on the market.
I'm just saying that Okay, I want to be really blunt here because let me say everything that I think about the market and all the stuff, and I'll talk about AI and blockchain as well. The thing is, we as market, we just fall under these hype narratives every single time. We have this hype for, I don't know, a month or two, maybe 3 months, and then it's gone. It is gone. Nobody's actually building products. Everyone just talking about this. We saw many people talking about AI plus blockchain product, launching tokens, getting some money from mostly from retail, sometimes from VC as well. Where are all these products? Where are all these products, guys? Come on. This is not only about AI. This is also about all other narratives. We were talking about ETFs for months, not years. We saw them launching now, but where is the liquidity? Everyone is on the market. Everyone is like, where is the liquidity? Liquidity has gone somewhere. Where is it? Will it go to? Will actually retail and actual users see it, or only institutionals will actually change? I don't know, take their part of the pie. Maybe the pie going to be bigger for them. I just want to say that as an industry, guys, we are not moving forward. Let me be very honest here. Like, we're just talking about narrative. We just, I don't know, have some hype. We talk for several months. VCs invest. We see a lot of news, and then it's gone. It is literally gone. Nothing is happening around it. Same for AI and blockchain. Nothing is actually happening on that market at this point. Is something happening around AI and, I don't know, mini apps, etc.? Yes. I can actually share one example of AI plus blockchain, which is one of the most successful mini apps on Telegram right now. I don't want to say like any names of the app, but it is, if you know what is waifu, where you actually chat with AI, and this AI sends you a picture of girls, like sometimes very like spicy and hot pictures. This is the only product which is really successful in terms of AI and blockchain. Like,
at least we have something.
That's it. That's it. And this is not about trade. I'm just saying that, guys, please, let's realize as an industry, instead of saying, yeah, things are coming and they're going to be better soon, let's realize that we have to start actually building products instead of just talking about the hype and leaving this hype behind for the next hype. Sorry.
Okay, very interesting opinion. So, Alessia, from your perspective, you work with hundreds of projects. DWF work with a lot of companies on this market. So, what your thoughts about the AI? Do we need to wait something huge from your side, maybe from your portfolio companies, or you completely agree with Inal? It's just a huge nothing, just a hype.
Okay, I agree with some points that Inal pointed out. So it's not such a, I'm not completely against those points. I do think that the industry is moving forward in some aspects. So I don't think that we are like stagnated in just, you know, this cycle, but we are moving slowly and slowly to the better.
Sorry, can I jump in? Like, in which aspects we move forward?
So look.
In manipulating the market?
Anyway, the point is that, yeah, of course, when the whole AI narrative came up, a lot of portfolio companies were looking within themselves and asking how they could implement AI. A lot of them came up with the AI assistant. Of course, that's good, but you know, it does not make you like an AI project. It does make you have some AI features. But I do see some related to, you know, DeFi combining with AI. Some platforms, even on Telegram, you know, combining this aspect, but we have to see if it will actually be safe enough to use it, you know, and of course, whenever you're using for trading aspects as well, it becomes even more complicated because if the AI does a mistake, or, you know, who do you blame? So, yeah, we've seen some portfolio companies use it, but not necessarily, I would assume that they are AI crypto companies. They are crypto companies that have some AI features, but that's it.
Okay, got it. So let's back to the market and talk about the Bitcoin and its connection with the rest of the market. So about the price connections between the Bitcoin and all the market of altcoins. James, what's your opinion? In the past cycles, when Bitcoin grows, all the market just follow it. But right now, looks like something is broken, and we see the cases when the Bitcoin shows the grow in a short period of time, but altcoins don't react or even fall in price. So what's the reason, and what's your thoughts about these connections?
Yeah, sure. I think Bitcoin dominance goes down only in the ICO cycle back to 2017. That's the time Bitcoin dominance goes down, and every time afterward, all Bitcoin dominance actually goes up. Right now, Bitcoin dominance is around like 60% of the entire market cap of crypto, which I think is reasonable, because especially in this bull market, we see like ETF come out. We see like DAT firms being very popular. We see actually a lot of like mainstream capitals investing to cryptos indirectly through all different kind of methods. And we got like a policy very, very friendly to crypto, and institutional investors going investing to crypto. So the first option or the first coin they will do is Bitcoin, because I don't think they were going to invest into anything beyond Bitcoin first. So that's the reason why, in every cycle, because we rely on newcomers and new peoples, new investors, especially in this cycle, institutional investors coming to invest money. So Bitcoin, the dominance keep going up, which is on the capital side, I think is a very reasonable result. On the other hand, I would say compared to the previous cycles, we probably have way too many altcoins right now. So we even have more altcoins than the listed company on Nasdaq. So this is unreasonable. We have 4 trillion market cap right now, but the stock market combined, in Nasdaq and the New York Stock Exchange in the US, it's probably $80 trillion. So it's 20 times bigger than the crypto market, but we have more coins here than the stocks over there. So this is unreasonable. That's why a lot of altcoins just disappear, because it's getting too diversified. No one actually buying these altcoins, which is reasonable. I think because a lot of altcoins really don't have that much value to buy. Why do we need so much layer 1 protocols? Why do we need, as you say, why do we need all this kind of hype without any products? So we don't need to buy these coins. So that's why all these coins eventually will disappear or diminish from what we can see. So I think that's also another reason why we have Bitcoin dominance keep going up. I don't think the trend will kind of I think the trend will last until there are more like a fundamental change in the crypto industry. Because I think the fundamental in our industry is about we are going to building a new fully decentralized open financial system. That's what we are working on. But unless we are going to either putting more asset on chain, or unless we are going to actually have new ways for people to trade or other new innovations, then we are not seeing the growth on this side. Then people are just going to buy Bitcoin. So that's my answer to it.
Thanks, James. Alec. What do you think? Do we see how the Bitcoin separate from all the market right now? Maybe new trend is forming. So what's your thoughts about this Bitcoin altcoin connection and about the altcoin markets?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I think back to Inal's assertion that the hype didn't work. I think it did work, especially on the ETF front, right? And precisely that's why we are seeing this very distinct disconnects between Bitcoin price or rather Bitcoin dominance versus altcoin, because there are institutions or rather large amount of capital inflow that comes into this space, but primarily through the ETF, which is obviously first of all Bitcoin. And once these investors have fully appreciated the beauty of Bitcoin, perhaps down the road they will experiment with other altcoins, and that will probably bring in the inflows to the altcoins as well once the DATs actually get more mature, right? Once the space is actually more well recognized by the rest of the world, other than this very small group of us. And I think that's probably going to happen in the next few years. And and from the exchange side, I think we see a clear distinct disconnect as well between Asian exchanges of the altcoins, as well as Bitcoin and ETH, which has the main ETFs around to support the capital inflows. And that's why we see the volatility of Bitcoin actually went down significantly, right? I think it's even lower than Nasdaq's volatility right now. So I think the ETFs are working, and that's why we see the big disconnects.
I believe that we see how the institutionals and the retail traders or investors increases significantly, and they expertise rising daily, and they pay much more attention on details when they decided which one of crypto they want to invest. And right now, maybe altcoins need to show the real value, the real utility on the market, and they cannot just follow the shadow of Bitcoin. Okay, let's talk about the market in general. So it seems like since this May, it's stuck in sideways movement. So the price isn't changing, it's just moving sideways. So what could be the reason for it? Alec, I'll ask you again. From your perspective, so what keeps the market in this range, and how we can break this trend?
Yeah, I think as mentioned before, I think Bitcoin price, is now dominated by institutions and smart investors. So they are currently waiting to see what's going to happen from a macro perspective, whether the rate cuts are going to continue, whether the inflation's going to be kept in pace. And I think it's just a struggle between waiting for more data in order for them to continue to pushing more capital into this space, and that's why we are seeing a long consolidation phase since May. And I think it's a good thing, right? Because that means there are sellers and yet there are buyers at the same time in keeping the volatility pretty low, and it's probably gearing up for next leg up. That's the short answer to your question.
Yeah, short and directly in the target. Okay, Borislav, about the Morningstar, how you evaluate the market right now? Any predictions? Maybe is it sideways trend continues, or do we need to expect the growth of the market, or the bear market is coming? So, what's?
Yeah, I mean, what Inal said basically is completely correct in the sense that you need working products, right? You need something that's generating revenue, you need something that's actually being used by users, and that's definitely lacking. The two killer apps at the moment in crypto are Bitcoin and stablecoins. Like everything else is and Pump Fund, of course, yeah. What we did at Morningstar Ventures, we are a prop fund, so we don't have a mandate to deploy until a certain time or in a certain vertical, is we went very aggressive in the bear market, where we deployed very heavily into gaming and infrastructure. Right now, to be completely honest with you, we've kind of paused investments, and we are doing a lot of OTC deals with multi-cycle tokens that are, still alive, still kicking in a gold rush. It's good to also work with the picks and shovels, like protocols that are actually being used cross-chain, like Wormhole, for example, and the likes. They're not very sexy. They're not going to do 100x, but it's something that's been there for a while, and people know it. And this cycle has kind of proven. Retail is the retail from the past cycle. They have gone more sophisticated. They don't buy into the hype anymore and into new launches. So. Point being is we have our big bets, which are our conviction bets, where we support heavily. And then on the side, we also have, because it's not a secret that in crypto, you can also make money off of investments that are not viable companies, right? So we are kind of split in the two baskets, where we don't make new investments at the moment, but we are supporting heavily in the launches of investments that we're backing now for 4 or 5 years.
Okay. Inal, the next question directly to you, my friend. So, as a big fan of gaming, I should ask. So, previously the GameFi sector was one of the hottest in the market. It brings us lots of new audience from the Web 2. So, but right now it looks that nothing happens. It's quiet. Why is the institutionals and retail investors lost the interest in this area, and when we should expect next gaming boom?
Yeah, great question. Let's start from the hype in 2024, actually, which was quite big, especially for Telegram and Tonica systems. To be very honest, market is completely different. It is down 20 times at least in terms of number of users and revenue. But in my opinion, this is much more healthy market at this point than it was before, because most of the users, they were looking for airdrop in the past. Now users that we have in those games that we see, for example, on Telegram with the Ton integration, most of them, players, they're actually looking for fun. Some of them want to monetize their time. Some of them take part in tournaments. They trade stuff inside games, etc., etc. But most of them are for fun, and they are actually ready to pay. They are ready to spend money. So I would say that this market is, gaming market is much more healthy than it was before. I'm a big fan of numbers, so I'll share some numbers. Please try to follow. Last year, I was saying that we expect that around 20% of monthly active users of Telegram will play games at some point, like across all games. But at top, it was almost 50, which was unhealthy. Just because if you compare with other messengers like WeChat or, I don't know, VK, usually it's from 10 to 20. For Facebook, for example, it was 13%. And for WeChat, it was 30%. So we were like averaging it to 20. So now we're a little bit below 20, but what I'm saying is it is much more healthy than it was before. And what we see now, gaming studios, like traditional gaming studios, come to us and say, hey, we want to build a game on Telegram, we want to add Ton, we want to add Web3 blockchain there. And they're not just coming and building yet another tap-to-earn app. Because I can share, for example, one team with a founder who was a founder of Zynga in the past, like huge gaming company. They developed a game last year on Telegram, and it was just tap-to-earn game. Now, if those types of founders come to Telegram, they want to build an actual game because they understand that users should pay to actually have fun, etc., or should see ads. So the market is much more healthy, and there is development actually going on with Web2 markets. The last thing I just wanted to add, actually, to my previous topic about products, is these numbers, I have never shared them. Yesterday, actually, we tried to estimate how many people were brought to Web3 by games on Telegram in 2024. We tried to count how many people actually connected their wallet first to an app and then actually deposited something to that wallet. So we had an assumption that these users were new to crypto because their wallet was initially empty, and then they have done something on the blockchain. And this is just an estimation because not all of the mini apps share data with us. This is completely optional for mini apps on Telegram. And we got a number over 20 million people actually were onboarded to Web3 thanks to games. And try to guess what is the retention there. This is just to the point that people actually play games, cool. But if we as an industry want to move forward, we have to actually offer them something else. We have to actually offer them working products. It doesn't matter, AI, blockchain, investment, trading, whatever. But the thing is we don't have those products as an industry. So people, they're stuck inside the gaming loop, or they're just actually leaving, and they don't touch Web3 anymore. So what I'm saying, again, Web3 gaming is much more healthy than it was before, because developers actually want to develop games, but we still will onboard people with Web3 games, but what is the next step? It is still missing.
Yeah, it's very interesting about the wallet traction. So do you now continue to track these wallets? So are they still alive? Are they still doing something in crypto, buying the NFTs or something like this? Or is just a one-time event when they come in crypto, buying something necessary for this direct game? Or it's just the bridge that bring them to this market and they continue to use something in crypto?
The problem is that most of them, they tried the game, they tried Web3, they have done something, they have done transaction, they topped up their balance, and then they left. Or they just went to like P2P stuff like payments and transferring assets to their friends. That's it. They're not going to other Web3 products, at least as we see as of now. But it's over a year now, so they should have done something already if they wanted to. So yeah, unfortunately, we're kind of losing them as an industry. I'm not talking only about Ton or Telegram. As an industry, we're actually losing them because we don't have anything interesting for them.
Okay. From my perspective, for the gaming studios, just offer us interesting gameplay and avoid play to earn. Give us something that we can use with fun, with friends, and truly own our gaming assets. And
that's what something. Sorry for interrupt. Just we are short on time, so just wanted to say I actually said it during one of the panels earlier today that, for example, Telegram introduced Telegram gifts, which is actually an NFT that you can buy, use on your Telegram profile, etc. And some games, what they have done, they said you can use your Telegram gift in a form of NFT inside our game, and this is the best example of what games should do. There are assets. These assets are yours as a user, but you can use them inside our game. And those games, they were quite successful. And that's what we expect from our other game developers as well. So make it open economy. Let them use assets from one game or from Telegram inside the game, and that should work. And it actually works.
Sounds amazing. Hope to see something like this in near future. So we have three major VC funds on the stage, so let's back to market discussions. Alec, I will back to you. So could you tell us about your investment thesis right now? What's your focus the most, and how the exchange in ecosystem helps?
Sure. So thanks for the question. So in terms of which area we are focusing right now, I think our thesis still remains, as what I've discussed earlier on in this panel as well, is that we need to look at capital flows, right? So capital flows are obviously going into the Bitcoin space for the past year now, and probably continue to flow into the Bitcoin space going forward, right? And what will benefit from that is that, well, now we have all this wealth, right? These people that are holding Bitcoins have all this wealth. What are they going to do with it? Are they going to sell it to monetize it, right? Then they will incur the taxes. If not, they can always just borrow against their Bitcoin. So we are huge investors in the Bitcoin ecosystems, in Bitcoin DeFi, in order to allow all these investors, holders to monetize their Bitcoin without selling and without incurring capital gains tax. So that's the main vertical that we are super bullish on at the moment, and probably will continue going forward in supporting these projects that we have invested since 2023.
Okay, Alessia, what kind of deals DWF participated this year? So what's your focus right now? What's the main sectors you pay attention at, and what could you share with us? What kind of projects will launch soon from your fund?
Yeah, I mean, DWF, we have quite a broad mandate, and because we did not raise funds like you guys, we can have a lot of flexibility. So of course, we adapt according to the market. I mean, besides investing, market making, we've been offering treasury management for teams, and then also providing option strategies for VCs, for example, when they want to hedge their positions. From our portfolio, I mean, we have done a couple investments. Of course, primary markets, not that many investments because the market is quite slow and not that many interesting projects out there. But I think one of the interesting projects coming up soon would be Fly and Tulip, which was, it's founded by the same founder of Sonic. So yeah, we're excited about that. You know, it's a founder that has a good track record, and some say the father of DeFi. So yeah, looking forward to that. They also created a really interesting funding round structure, which has never seen before. So yeah, I think we're interested in that.
Looks like we have time for only one answer. Borislav, what's your strategy right now for the Morningstar? What's you focused on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to touch back on a topic that we discussed previously, which is gaming. To date, our biggest bet actually is in gaming, and it's in a game called Gunzilla. And we are not talking about like a tap to earn or something that has a retention of 0 and like nobody really comes back to it. We're talking about a 400 people team, like a Hollywood director on board, a previous exit at more than $1 billion. They're building the game now for 5 years already. It's the first game that's actually launched on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, across all the major distribution platforms, and has 500K people that are returning users of the game without actually being fully migrated onto mainnet. So I would encourage everybody to actually check it out, not because you're a gamer, but just to see like what is the difference between a working product and spending the time and the effort of actually building something of substance, and then introducing crypto once there is an actual user base and retention, and compare that to anything else that has come to the market, especially in the AAA segment. Because, of course, mobile gaming is huge, and it doesn't need to be with such parameters to be significant, but there needs to be proper gaming that is competitive, where it gets streamed, there is tournaments that are organized, people follow it on platforms like Twitch. We need to also realize that we are not living in a silo, right? Like if you want to work with the rest of the world, it needs to be approachable. It needs to be something that is somewhat familiar. So yeah, that's a big focus of ours, and we are huge supporters of the team from day one.
So unfortunately, we're out of time. Thanks a lot for all of our speakers and such a great audience here in Dubai. Enjoy the rest of Blockchain Live. See you soon. Bye, guys.